Welcome to Sabs podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati. I have a guest with me tonight. His name is Denard Inglis. He's going to do the news with me. He's a former House of Delegates candidate. He was a Democrat, and now he is a part of the Green Party. What's going on, Denard?
Feel fire up, Sabby, and thank you for having me.
All right, welcome. I love the Hillary image. She has her hand out. She's like, "Hey, girl," and she's like, "Go away, just go away." So let's go ahead and get started. Denard, since you're the guest, which story would you like to start with first?
Well, we should start first with the Hillary 2024 presidential campaign.
All right, here we go. And I'm sorry to do this to you guys. I know you don't like seeing Hillary on the screen, but we got to talk about this. So I want to give a quick shout out to Case Study QB. He clipped this. Let me go ahead and share this with you. So Fox News was talking about Hillary Clinton possibly running for 2024. Again, shout out to Case Study QB. He does phenomenal work. I want to go ahead and play this video. And then Denard, we'll talk about it after. So I'm going to mute my mic so I don't get an echo.
To do, and knowing the people around her.
How about a third round of Hillary Clinton? Anyone? Multiple reports that the twice failed presidential candidate has her eyes set on another run. Here's former advisor to President Bill Clinton, Dick Morris, on why we could see Hillary in 2024.
There's a good chance of it. Hillary has set up a brilliant strategy that nobody else is able to do. And knowing the people around her, I believe there's only one person capable of that level of thinking, and that's her husband. She has set up a zero-sum game with him. The worse he does, the better she does. Because she's positioned herself as the Democratic alternative to Biden. Not just to Biden, but to the extreme left in the Democratic Party.
So he's lumping progressives now with Biden. That's fascinating. Hillary Clinton, Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America on Fox News Radio and Focus Now. Could Dick Morris have that right?
Oh. Yes, Harris, I feel so bad for the American people. First, we had to worry about COVID variants. Now we have to worry about Clinton variants.
I just want to pause for a second. Denard, in reference to that, do you think that Hillary Clinton has set up a great strategy for 2024? Just curious.
Well, considering that this woman lost two times in the run for president. She lost to Barack Obama in the primary, and she nearly lost the primary to Bernie. She nearly lost the primary to Bernie Sanders, but she succeeded thanks to the backing of the DNC inciting, and she couldn't even defeat Donald Trump in 2016, and so. I don't know. I think she's going back to her old-fashioned ways of vote for me because I'm not Republican, or vote for me, I'm not Trump. She's part of the establishment. And they're trying to point her as the alternative to Biden. She's not an alternative. She represents everything just like Biden. She represents everything people can't stand about politics. So I'll be surprised if she makes a third run for president. I mean, Biden did, so I guess 30 times the charm. But how many times she has to lose in order to remind people that no one likes her?
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you mentioned about her run against Obama too, because I think sometimes people forget that Hillary Clinton did run against Barack Obama too. So this would be her third race. I'm going to go back into the video.
It's a rough time to be. It really is, Harris. But to Dick Morris's point, she is viable. She has a viable lane for two reasons. One is that, yes, Biden is polling historically low, and the country has drifted way too far to the left. Okay, for whatever people think of the Clintons, they're not stupid. And when it comes to strategy, there is a huge lane for her to run in, which brings me to number two, Harris. As you know, she is obsessed with the presidency. And I want you to think about this, Harris. A couple of weeks ago, you know this is true. A couple of weeks ago, she went on TV and read the acceptance speech she would have given had she won the presidency. Harris, imagine you ran into your ex on the street after 4 years and they read you the wedding vows they would have recited in the church had you married them. You would have run for your life. Happened. But in this instance, thank you. Well, in this instance, the Democrats can't run for their life because the crazy ex might be the best option in town.
You're the only person I know that can make obsessed have like a whole different meaning, and it's really scary. So politically, though, what does this do for or with or, you know, in spite of Republicans? I mean, it could be Donald Trump. Could we see it again?
Well, I do think one of the reasons they're so noisy right now is they are trying to bait Trump into this race earlier rather than later. Exactly. But I mean, Hillary is trying to bait Trump into this race. She wants to run against Donald Trump because he's the only one with unfavorable numbers that would mobilize the Democratic Party enough that they might hold their nose and vote for her. They're not going to support her over anybody else. But there's one thing, Harris, no one is saying, including Dick Morris, is what's really giving her the upper hand is not that Biden is in his late hundreds. He's polling behind, you know, just about any bad thing you can think of. I mean, because again, Harris, they keep saying this, Harris. They keep saying, well, she's younger than Biden. Yeah, so is Moses. That's not the sell here. The sell here is that their policies aren't popular. And are you ready? She can fundraise. No one else in line to potentially succeed Biden can fundraise on the magnitude that the Clintons can. So this is very much alive.
All right, we'll move to this. Critics.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is a possibility that Hillary Clinton could run again in 2024. I am disgusted. I'm appalled. I do not want to see this woman run again. I feel like she's trying to fix what happened in 2016. How do you feel about that, Denard?
Well, of course she is. I mean, she's been obsessed with I can't believe I'm actually agreeing to Fox News about this, but she's been obsessed with the presidency since 2008, and she has been, and ever since her loss to Donald Trump, she's been trying to find a way to get to the presidency. And if people actually thought that in 2020 they thought Biden was going to choose Hillary Clinton to be his running mate. I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad he read the writing on the wall in that moment. I wish he could have chose someone more progressive to be his running mate, but we can't get what we want. But yeah, they pointed out she literally read her acceptance speech out loud if she won the presidency. I mean, who does that? I mean, that's someone you're at this point you're basically obsessed with the presidency. So I won't be surprised. Like I said, I won't be surprised that she decided to run. And they pointed out that she's younger than Biden. She's 74. But yeah, she's younger than Biden. Biden is 80, but that doesn't mean just because she's in her mid 70s doesn't mean that she's young. I mean,
right.
I mean, I think it's time for her to accept that no one likes her. Wipe the slate. No one likes her. Stop obsessing with the presidency. Move on or whatever you were doing, and just enjoy the rest of your time. If I recall, I know that if she won the 2016 presidency, I mean, Republicans will find consider the country actually doing her a favor. I mean, if she won the presidency, Republicans will find multiple ways to impeach her. Most of them ridiculous and not worthy of impeachment, but still.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out to JB's in the chat. What's going on, JB? JB says, so it's all about fundraising. They're trying to lose so they can fundraise. The presidential election year is political Black Friday for the Democratic Party so they can make more money. Well said, JB. Bill Bradley says, but does she still carry hot sauce in her purse? That's a good question, Bill. Yeah, she's going to try to pander more to people if she runs again as well. Even CNN is talking about this. Guys, I want you to hear these talking points because they're ridiculous. Anybody who falls for this time, I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you this time. So let me go ahead and play this clip. It says Hillary 2024, given the competition, she may be the Dems' best hope. Hillary Clinton's 2024 election comeback. This is hilarious. Let me go ahead and get this started.
With Joe Biden down in the polls and his VP not doing any better, in 2024, might the Democrats turn to Hillary Clinton? That is the provocative thesis of my next guest, Democratic consultant Douglas Schoen. He and Andrew Stein co-wrote a piece for the Wall Street Journal this week titled Hillary Clinton's 2024 Election Comeback. It got big traction. The Hill says she may be the Democrats' best hope. The Washington Examiner, Democratic operatives say Hillary Clinton is best option. But there were some naysayers as well. A New York Post columnist called this a horror movie in the making. Newsweek said don't count on it. A Boston Herald editorial calls it a nightmare scenario. Meanwhile, former President Trump continues to be a fundraising juggernaut, thwarting other Republican hopefuls from entering the race. Tonight, Trump holding a rally in Florence, Arizona. He will be 78 on Election Day 2024. Bernie Sanders, 83. President Biden, 81, about to turn 82. Hillary Clinton, by comparison, a youthful 77. And though Politico Playbook was dismissive about Schoen and Stein's thesis, it did report this, quote, people close to Bill and Hillary Clinton said the former first couple sees an opportunity to insert themselves back into political life. Douglas Schoen joins me now. He's the co-author of a brand new book called America, Unite or Die, How to Save Our Democracy. Doug, what did you want to come from the Wall Street Journal piece, and did it work?
Well, I think I accomplished my goal of making it clear the Democratic Party is sinking, Michael, given the approach Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are taking. And I think my answer to your poll question is no, I don't see them being salvageable, given that they're taking the same path they have, rather than what Secretary Clinton and Bill Clinton have proposed, which is repositioning back to the center, getting back to a set of policies that are more both affordable and accessible for the American people, and to recognize.
I just have to pause there for a second and chime in. Notice he said getting back to the center. We're still in the center. When they were making those comments saying that the American have moved like far left, how did we move far left? Do we have universal health care for everyone? No. Did we cancel student loan debt? No. We have continued to fund the military industrial complex. In fact, Biden has given more money to the military than Trump did. What did we do that made us move far left? They don't even explain that. They don't say anything about that. Your take, Denard?
Yeah, both Republicans and corporate media have been pushing this whole idea that Joe Biden is going far left. Like he's never been far left in his entire life. You look at it, and as for someone as for Biden, who told us to look at his record, he's been. If you look at his record, it looks exactly what Republicans will be supporting today. He supported cuts for Social Security. He supported the war in Iraq. He would basically help cause the student debt crisis in the first place. I mean, he's never the center. But But the fact is, Joe Biden basically ran on the platform, and they just want to return to a simple time where Americans can come together, bring everyone together. You know what? That may have worked. That may have worked in probably in the late 1950s or the early 1960s, but not today. We got one party that's embracing fascism. We have one party who's literally doing everything across, going through 19 states to make sure that people don't vote. And we got another party who was basically sitting down and saying, I think we should work with the Republicans more. And more. And that's not just dumb. That's dumb. There's many of them still have the mindset that we should return to this Reagan era paradise, which it wasn't a paradise. The paradise, and no one wants them. Shut up about it and give us exactly what we do want, like a Kansas student did that, or universal healthcare, or a Green New Deal. I don't care which one you do first, just get it done.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, what's so frustrating is that they always talk about how the left is going, the people don't want to go far left, or they get, like you said, they never really explain how do we go left. I mean,
no examples.
I guess he points out. What is he? Biden. What Biden accomplished? Giving money to the, like you said, give money to the military. Give money to the military. More money to the military. Passing a stimulus package, which basically gave people one check. And then one check, and now he came out and said, oh, I'm not going to give you any checks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Shout out to Ashura for the super chat. HRC will carry a shawarma with hot sauce and chicken wings. Thanks so much for that super chat, Ashura. Yeah, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna go back into the video, so bear with me, guys. I know it's hard.
That unless the party changes and embraces people like Secretary Clinton, who is a centrist, and President Bill Clinton, who pursued centrist policies with me and my firm in the mid-90s, the party will be doomed in 2022. And I dare say, Michael, 2024 as well.
To your point, she sat down with Willie Geist this week. In fact, I'll play a short snippet from that interview because I think it tethers to what you just said.
I think that it is a time for some, careful thinking about what wins elections, and not just in deep blue districts where a Democrat and a liberal Democrat or so-called progressive Democrat is going to win.
Hold up. Didn't she lose? Didn't she lose twice? And she's going to give people advice on how to win elections? What? I'll go back in.
I like the fact that she's rocking the purple in that interview. You're not in cahoots, right? You haven't spoken to the Clintons. She had no idea that you were going to write this, and you've written similarly about her in the past. All true?
All true, and I believe that what she is saying now is where the party needs to go. And if Bill and Hillary Clinton reinsert themselves, as you suggest is possible based on the Politico reporting, that's all good. Look, you remember, as do I, 1960, Richard Nixon lost. 62, he lost to Pat Brown for governor of California. 68, the new Nixon came back and was reelected. He was repositioned, a new image. My argument is where the party has no deep bench. The president and the vice president are increasingly discredited, with the president down at 33% approval in the Quinnipiac poll. Secretary Clinton and Bill Clinton offer a breath of fresh air, repositioning, and as I say with Andrew Stein in that piece, a possibility for change that no other Democrat offers as we sit here today.
Okay, something I want to add here. He brought up Richard Nixon. It's interesting he brought up Richard Nixon because Richard Nixon was further to the left than Joe Biden on some policies. A lot of people don't realize that, don't understand that. But if you go back and you look at some of the things that Richard Nixon wanted to implement, some of the policies that he had, he was further to the left of Joe Biden. And he used that as an example. So it's just, this is like really frustrating because I'm like, they're trying to make Hillary a thing. Like, this is the thing. Just stop it. Just stop it. This woman is not going to win. I'm not going to vote for this woman. She wants to bring the party to the center. The party's already in the center. In fact, the party's moving further to the right. And they want to lie to you and tell you that Democrats are moving far left without giving you any examples of how we've moved. They've moved far left. None of the policies that Bernie Sanders wanted, none of the policies that Joe Biden even ran on. The minimum wage, the student loan debt, none of those things have been implemented. And they're still saying that we're far left. Shout out to Ashura for the super chat. I disagree with your guest on saying just Republicans are doing fascism. Both do the same damn thing. Thanks so much for the super chat, Ashura. Socialist MMA is in the house. Why won't Hillary go away? Yes. Why won't she just leave? I'm sick of seeing this woman's face. So, Denard, what do you think about the fact that they're praising Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton as if they're going to be the ones that are going to come in and they're going to be the savior here, given their history?
To be honest, I don't really know. I have so many questions. There's so many questions. I have a lot. Then there's a lot to unpack. But I think the reason they're obsessed with Hillary is because they see her as the potential as the savior of the Democratic Party, considering that they've been obsessed with her since 2016, and being the elected the first woman president. Wow, but what is she going to stand? What is she standing for? And as for her advice, this is coming. It's funny that she's giving advice on how to win elections, considering that she lost to a 75-year-old toddler who couldn't even who she didn't even campaign in the Midwest.
Sorry, I muted myself. She didn't even follow advice that was given to her about campaigning in the Rust Belt from someone who had won. She didn't want to take her own husband's advice, and now she's supposed to come in and tell everybody else how to win. Really?
Rust Belt. I'm sorry, I said Midwest. I said Rust. I meant Rust Belt. Sorry.
Yeah, the Rust Belt. It's just, how could you ignore a whole entire population of people that had pretty much lost their jobs, a lot of their jobs, because you had an administration that came before them, the Obama administration, that sent their jobs overseas. How could you ignore that population of people? Because I think that Hillary Clinton was very arrogant. I think that she just knew she had this in the bag. I don't think she really thought that Donald Trump was, I don't want to say going to be a competition for her, but I don't think she took him seriously. I don't think a lot of us took him seriously, to be honest, back then. But I think she probably thought to herself, there's no way in hell I'm going to lose to Donald Trump. I think that she had pretty much realized, you know what? The DNC has my back. I'm the most popular candidate that's running. So there's no way I'm going to lose. And the American people showed up when it was time to vote and proved her wrong. And I think she still does not know how to get over that. She doesn't want to let that go. And I think she's looking to blame anybody else for the reason why she lost. She's still blaming Bernie Sanders, who went out here and tried to help get her elected. She's still blaming him. She's blaming Russia. She's blaming everyone but herself. This woman is not likable. And if you are watching this show right now and you consider yourself to be a Democrat per se, this woman is not likable. She comes across as a prude. She comes across as elitist. She is not appealing to the everyday average Joe Schmo. That is a turnoff. People want someone who is real. People want someone that is down to earth, and people want someone that is relatable. She is not relatable. She's not likable. Even when she smiles, it looks like it's forced. She's not going to do anything for the American people, not the working class people. I'm going to go to some of the comments really quick. JB says it's all about fundraising. Kamala can't raise as much money, so they want to pull Hillary in. And notice how quickly they're just writing off Joe Biden. You notice that, Denard, how quickly publicly they're just writing off Joe Biden. They're like, yeah, Biden's numbers are low, so yeah, let's bring in Hillary.
Yeah, yeah, they immediately turn off when Biden, when now that Biden's approval rating, but they never really talk about why Biden's approval rating is so low, because he never really fulfilled his promises. People still, the student, like you said, student debt hasn't ever been forgiven. He's still putting more money into the military industrial complex. He still hasn't given out. He still owes us more $2,000 checks. Like you said, this is all about fundraising. They're literally funding. Democrats' the only thing they're good at is fundraising off their failures. The failures. They fundraise off of Hillary Clinton's failure. They're trying to fundraise off their unsuccessful attempt to pass voting rights. The voting rights. I mean, they're already planting the seed of blaming progressives for their loss for their potential loss in the midterm election this year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be our fault, you guys. Watch. And they will lose, mark my words. Replicarian shout out says at the laugh at the hot sauce comment, thumbs up. Yeah, that was cute. They will lose. I still believe that. And they're going to start pointing fingers at all of us. They're going to say it's our fault because we were too far left, because we wanted to defund the police, because we wanted to cancel student loan debt, because we want health care for everybody. I'm sorry. How dare we ask you for a decent living? How dare we ask you for a living wage? The nerve of us.